Lysander was ready. This was his 7th birthday and also the birthday of his twin sister, Disa, whose name means double. This would be their last birthday celebration together. When a boy in the city-state of Sparta turned 7, his life changed forever. Until now, Lysander had lived at home with his mother and sister. Sometimes they saw Lysander's father when he visited home, but fathers did not live with their families in Sparta. Instead, all Spartan men served permanently. Permanently means always and never changing. In the Spartan army. So that means that all the men were in the army their whole lives, and they lived in special army camps. On one of his visits, Lysander's father explained to him, at the age of 7, a Spartan boy begins his formal training for life in the army. Spartan soldiers are the greatest in all of Greece, and if you are to take your place among us, you must start preparing early. You must make yourself as strong and fast and tough as you can. I expect you to run great distances, climb steep mountainsides, and swim in rough waters. Lysander's father went on, when I can, I will spend time here and show you how to use a sword and a spear, and how to wrestle and box, although you will be trained completely in these and other fighting skills after you join the other boys in the army. I expect the best from you, as Sparta expects the best from all of its people. Second graders, can you imagine having this conversation with one of your parents? This boy, Lysander, is the same age as you. He's only 7 years old, and his father is explaining that he has to get ready now to go into the army. To us, the Spartan way of life seems terribly hard. Spartans had very little comforts in life, and they had to accept many hardships. We even use the word Spartan today to describe something difficult that requires you to be strong in body and in mind. And that takes a great deal of self-discipline. Self-discipline is always doing things to improve and keeping yourself accountable for it or in check. Just like when you guys do your independent work, you have to have self-discipline to stay with it and always be improving in your schoolwork. Long before the time of Lysander or his father, Spartan had been just one of the many city-states in Greece. The people of Sparta were farmers, sailors, merchants, just like many people in other parts of Greece. But when Sparta grew overpopulated, that means there were a lot of people there, the city decided to attack another city in order to have more land and space and food, because they got so populated, so full of people. The Spartans fought a long war against this city they decided to attack. The war was so difficult to win that the people of Sparta decided, we will rebuild our city and make Sparta the strongest military force in the world, so that no one will be able to attack us or fight back against us. We will make all of Sparta into one great fighting machine, and every citizen must do his or her part to make that machine unstoppable. All of our men will be soldiers, and we will train them to be mighty warriors. Our women will learn how to run and wrestle so that they too will be strong, but their jobs will be different. The women must be able to give birth to many children and do even the most difficult jobs at home while the men are off fighting. The military city-state of Sparta completely changed the way they lived in order to make this happen. Very few people got to vote on how the government would work or what it would do. In fact, women were not allowed to vote at all. They were not allowed to take part in the government at all. Girls, how do you feel about that? That means that you would have to have a lot of babies and do a lot of hard work, but you were not allowed to say anything about the rules. That doesn't sound fair to me. Even among the men, very few people were allowed to make decisions. There were 2 kings instead of 1, so that one person could not have all of the power for himself. The 2 Spartan kings, in addition to helping run the government, led the Spartan armies. If one died in battle, the other would still be alive to lead the Spartans. To pass laws, there was a council. That was just a group of people made up of 28 elders. That means older people who knew a lot of things from being around for so long. And 2 kings. The kings could be younger. The other men in the council had to be at least 60 years old to be sure that they had enough life experience to help run the city, as the Spartans thought it should run. Sparta was mostly what we call a closed society. That means that the Spartans did not have a lot of business with other parts of Greece. Instead, they tried to make or grow their own city-state, to make or grow in their own city-state, all they would need in order to survive. They didn't want to open themselves up to other people's ideas of how to live or to possibly be invaded by another city-state. As he celebrated his 7th birthday, Lysander thought, "Today I will leave my family home to begin training as a soldier." Later in the day, a husky Spartan soldier came to the house to lead Lysander away. Husky just means big and strong. The fellow introduced himself as Platon. His name is Platon. That means broad-shouldered in Greek. Lysander wanted to look brave in front of him, so he did not cry when he said goodbye to his mother and sister. Still, when his sister Disa whispered, "I will miss you," he whispered back, "I'll miss you too." As Lysander marched off with Platon, the soldier told him, "Your father and I served together in war. In fact, he saved my life. So when I heard his son was going to join us, I asked for the chance to be the one to bring you to your new home." The soldier continued, "Life at the training camp would be very different from what you have known. They will take away your shoes so that you will learn how to march and run in bare feet. You will get rough, old clothing to wear that's not comfortable, but neither is army. And armor is metal clothes that soldiers have to wear. And you may as well get used to being uncomfortable." As for the food, Platon smiled, "It's even worse than what we soldiers eat, and there's not enough to fill your belly. You may still be hungry. But sometimes the soldiers will offer you and the other boys some nice cheese, if you can get to it. The soldiers won't make it easy for you. Only the bravest and strongest boys will be able to accomplish that feat and get the cheese. or the hungriest, Lysander said. Platon grinned at him again. I think you are going to do just fine, he said, and they marched onward